My name is Stephen Schoppe, and I'm running for Congress in the 21st District. Now, I'm not a politician, so I hope that you will bear with me if my speech does not evoke images of Barack Obama with his teleprompter. But I am a husband and a father, and an active member of the Leander United Methodist Church. I am also, above all, a servant to my God. I am also a small business owner. As the co-founder of Process Sciences, incorporated in 1994, I have had the opportunity to learn many of the important life lessons as I help build a company from the ground up. Our government is out of control. They're stripping our constitutional rights, and they're spending not just our money, but they're spending the money of our children and grandchildren. The bloated bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. is seeking to control every aspect of our lives. My opponent, Lamar Smith, has been in Congress for over 22 years. He was a ranking member of Congress when the Republicans controlled both houses and Bush was in the Oval Office. And what did Lamar do with this power? He enabled an unprecedented increase in the size of federal government. Last year, he voted not just once, but twice to hand over $700 billion of our taxpayer dollars in a bailout for greedy bankers whose reprehensible behavior should have been punished by our free markets and not rewarded by our politicians. I grew up here in Leander and went to Leander schools. I learned the truth about socialism as it was being played out in the USSR. And now I have to wonder, do our children today even learn the truth about the Soviet system? I have to tell you, I don't think they do. I think they're learning about statist philosophies that proclaim that government is the only answer to the problems in our society. And I think our founding fathers would roll over in their graves if they could see the overbearing arm of the federal government reaching into nearly every aspect of our daily lives. My position is very similar on the Department of Education. I think it's actually extremely detrimental to the education of our children to teach to a test instead of teaching the ability to learn. And I think we're starting to witness the result of that for several generations now. I would also continue on the same vein that there are enumerated powers for our federal government. Education is certainly not one of them. And furthermore, the Department of Energy, talking about Jimmy Carter, created in '79 or during the Carter administration, it was their charter was to reduce our dependency on foreign oil. Well, how many times do we still hear that today? And their budget is $25 billion a year. This kind of waste is driving our dollar towards complete destruction if we don't stop it. We can't afford these government programs, and furthermore, they don't work. There is no example I'm aware of in history where socialism has been successful. The biggest thing that Congress can do, and this was what was intended by our founders, is that they control the purse. And without appropriations, all of these things we've talked about tonight that we want to get rid of, they will go away because they will not get funded. So, you know, what's near and dear to my heart as a businessman is fiscal responsibility. And we haven't been fiscally responsible in many, many years. Could be a lot of debate on when we really started to fall apart. I think this is a pretty good analogy. And you'll know it was around the time that we passed the Federal Reserve Act, and then I believe 3 years later the income tax was allowed. But this situation is only going to get better if Congress will stand up and stop funding these programs. When I go to Congress, I will vote no on appropriations for things that are not constitutional. And I will force the legislators around, if they want my vote, they will have to craft their appropriations bills in ways where they will not be violating our Constitution. This will negate the ability to get health care passed, all these things we've talked about that are unconstitutional We have to stop funding them. We've got the purse strings in the Congress, and we need to exercise them. I couldn't agree more that it's the assimilation process that has allowed this country to turn into what it at least was at one time, which was the leaders of the free world. I think we still are, but we really have lost a step, and it's the education, it's the language creates barriers, and it doesn't encourage people to want to be part of America, and it furthermore, it doesn't feel as special to be American whenever you've got all these people that can't even communicate. You know, how can a country be successful when they can't even work together? You could point to Canada, for example, and go to Quebec and see what kind of cooperation they have with the rest of Canada. And then you look at their society, and you can see that they're missing something. And it's really a bonding that they're missing, and there's no reason to have two different languages in this country, or three. I would certainly support making English the official language of America.